What's up, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Moon with Life. Andy here. A little delay, not too much of a delay. We're here. Right? I'm recording. It's 10 o'clock Central Time. That's where I'm at the moment, as far as time zones. But as we get into today, I hope you all enjoyed last week's episodes. I was able to get Matt Rodriguez and Matt Modine on here, which they've both technically been on already, and so it was cool having them on. It was cool touching all the subjects we got to touch. Obviously with Matt, it's a lot. I guess that's specified with Matthew Rod. Southern Ashes. It's a lot of obviously music oriented conversation, and then I got to learn more about him. The first again, it's like I mentioned last week, where the first time I had him on, it was via Zoom, and it was via Zoom, but it was a lot more structured. There's a lot more structure because I wanted to play three songs and kind of talk about him and talk about where he's at as far as music goes. Um, and so today, or not today, last week, I got to really actually get to know him just a little more. I knew about him, but for the sake of the podcast and bringing him, and then face to face, it's been a while since I've had face to face moving with life episode. So it was nice. All in all, it was nice. Matt Modi, my cousin, was our guest on Tuesday, and of course we talked about everything from shooting, everything I said we were going to talk about. We talked about shooting. The last time he was on was 2018, so we kind of covered all of that chronological order. Beloved Adventures, his trip to Colorado, and so here we are for this week. I knew this was going to go according, or not according to plan, but I knew this was going to be me by myself for today. Uh, Funny thing is it's I had almost planned to record last Friday, and I went to go see the Bellion Brothers last Friday, which was awesome. So you follow me on Instagram, Andy_MWL. Went to go see the Bellion Brothers last Friday, and that's why I didn't record. Because I was like, why didn't I record? Because I remember by like Wednesday or so, I had planned to say, oh yeah, let me I want to get an episode in. Debrief Friday would be nice. And I even thought about pre-recording it. But then when it came to it, and most of it, if I'm being honest, most of it's more of it, not most of it, more of it was just procrastination. I could have pre-recorded it and then uploaded and then try to have it up by Friday night, but I didn't. And for some, and this goes to my first point for today, just me trying to balance because I am on a little vacation right now, and so because of that, I am trying to balance continuing this and what I do feel guilty on, I can admit, is the fact that I don't post more of like excerpts and things related to like the podcast, or like more of the conversational like points within the podcast. Like I could use one TikTok and whatnot, but I haven't been doing that. And again, some of it's balanced. Like I do have a day job. I am taking a break right now. I am doing this because I enjoy it. I want to do more, but then it's at the same time, it's like, well, I also want to. I do want to relax, and it goes against everything Gary Vee talks about. And then I'm trying to, get back into better physical shape too. So I'm trying to incorporate that, not even like focus. I'm not gonna say. I was gonna use the word focus, but not focus isn't the right word because I'm trying to get back into shape, get back into a better physical shape, and that's just trying to day in day out. And last week it got to a point where like I had to. It was one of the days towards the end of the week. It was just stretching. It was just stretching because my hamstrings were tight, and I know where I'm at more or less physically, and I just want to get better to be better. Period. Um, and it's funny because if you talk to me in 2018, I was working out twice a day, at minimum twice a day. I was swimming. I was doing all these things, and right now it's more of a mental thing of me trying to get back into the mental game of harnessing really my own discipline so that I can uh, get better. Get better physically. I feel like my writing is kind of setting in, and not making myself feel overwhelmed, but just doing my things. Um, um, Doing the things I've set myself to, which is like one blog a month, maybe two. I did one at Starbucks. This is now a few weeks ago. But I did one at Starbucks, and so okay, did that, and so I posted it because I was like, if I would have waited or if I would have delayed that, it wouldn't have made sense really. At least in my eyes, the way my brain works is like there's something about chronological order. There's something about that I feel is very important to me. So I try to keep it in chronological order. So I did that. And so yeah, it's been a real balance of procrastination and um, a balance of procrastination and getting stuff done. Because also I've thrown out so much stuff that I don't use. I'm trying to help my family clean out junk and stuff that we don't we don't use, we haven't used. It's like, have you used this in the past 6 months? No. Have you used this in the past year? No. It's like, okay, we need to get rid of a ton of stuff, right? And so that plus then seeing my family, but then also like I want to be here at home with my family, right? And so it's a big balance. It's a big balance, and and uh, and it's not always even because then when I have work, work takes over. Um, so yeah, hopefully I hope you all have had a good weekend. I guess to kick things off, I have kicked things off, right? But man, watching the Bellini Bros. Like I said, I posted them on my TikTok and my Instagram a few times already, and obviously for sake of copyright and all that stuff, I'm trying to figure out how to go about copyright stuff because I was thinking about starting a Patreon because I want to do, and I've done it before, but then it as far as YouTube goes, it copyright claim, there's a copyright claim and copyright infringement and all this stuff, and it's like, man, I'm just reviewing music, and of course these labels and whatever, these powers that be, which are i.e. labels and Warner Brothers and Universal and all these people, of course they want their cut, which I personally don't care about the cut. I'm getting, for the views that I'm getting, it's like, oh, like I think y'all can show now, and I'm not trying to claim that it's mine, but it's all about money, right? It's all about money. That's the annoying part about kind of this, not this whole thing, but a lot of this stuff as far as entertainment goes. It's not even about, oh, I want them to succeed. I want my money. That's what it is. And even watching Katy Perry, so I watched a little bit of American Idol for the first. I had seen snippets and stuff and whatnot from people or on TV as previews and whatnot. And yesterday, I was visiting family and they had American Idol on, and I was watching It's Katy Perry, Luke Bryan, and Lionel Richie, and it's pretty dope, and it's amazing what the people that they let through, and the people that they're like, oh, I don't know, and then like they actually seem pretty good. It's like, no, what are you question? Excuse me, what are you questioning? Just get him on the show. Anyways, there's this guy. I think he was singing country. I think he sang the dance. I forgot his name already. Super tall guy. Played guitar, and he sang the dance by Garth Brooks, and then he sang the piece. I think he sang like the first verse, first chorus, and he was out. And then Katy Perry's like, "Oh man, I'm already thinking about how I want to how I want to market you, or how I'm gonna market you, or how I'm thinking about how to market you." Right, that was kind of her point. And first thing I thought in my mind is like, yeah, that's what they're saying. Oh, can we market this guy? And I think they mean well, like as far as when it comes down to like the actual judges and whatnot. It's like, can we market this person well enough to where he can succeed and be successful? The powers above them are like, oh, like dollar signs. Can we make money off this guy? Which makes sense. I mean, that's the whole point of business. That's the whole point of competition. That's the whole point of all that. But I think that was also one thing that, and when I was talking with Matt last week, Matt Rodriguez, and then we talked a little bit offline as well, where it's like, some of the business parts, like, are you really that sore? Like, are you really that salty that you're so scared to lose these pennies? Which pennies add up. I pick up pennies. Like, I think it's the moral thing behind it that bothers me the most. And so watching, I'm already thinking about how I'm going to market you, or how I want to market you. It's like, yes, yeah, you need marketing. I mean, these businesses, especially like Apple and Nike and all, they spend thousands of dollars, right? Of millions of dollars on advertising so that they can push their whatever their latest product is, and for Apple and Nike and those types of companies, they're not even worried about that's the crazy thing, is that they're not even worried about their competition. They're worried about themselves and how they can better their product. At least that was like the vision behind like Apple early days, as far as like Steve Jobs when he was alive, and that whole era. I feel like it's veered a little bit just by, obviously I'm an outside person, and I'm not in that sector. But they were always trying to compete and beat themselves. It wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to beat them. You know, Simon Sinek has a great example, and I'm sure I've talked about it before, and I'm going to mention it again because it's a good one. It's a basic example, simple example of Simon Sinek had this. He was doing a keynote or something for Microsoft, and I think the Zune had just come out, and so then he's messing with the Zune, and he's like, so he likes to test the water. So he told the executive for Microsoft, it's like, oh man, you know, Apple's, you know, they really got it. They really got it. Apple, and so the Microsoft's executive, I'm not sure it was the CEO or not, but the executive was like, oh, but our product, our Zune has this ability, and we can do this and all that stuff. And then so he does the same thing, but with an Apple executive with an iPod at the time, vice the Zune. And so he's like, oh man, you know, that Zune, you know, Microsoft gave me one for free. You know, it's really it's really a superior I think what he says, it's really a superior product. And the Apple executive said, I have no doubt, you know, I have no doubt that their product is as well. He's not even thinking. They're not even in the game. Microsoft is not even. And I'm bringing out like just the point of view of this point of like for the Apple exec, like they weren't even in the same arena. They were totally different arenas, and that's kind of the mindset I try to carry. I'm not saying I'm always the best at that because of the whole having a business degree and then trying to not create a business, but trying to see where I fit in the business world. Because that's what, you know, I'm learning that's what, you know, a lot of these things are. You know, even hospitals, you know, there's money behind that. And so my point is to retract this whole rant. It's like a 10-minute rant. Jeez, I'm sorry. I apologize. Not really, but kind of do. This whole rant leads to like me wanting to start a Patreon. In the ability, in the case that I can, do music reviews. I'd like to do movie reviews, but I think I'm saving that you know, that's for another time. But music reviews is something that I'm constantly doing. I get there's new music every Friday. Generally speaking, I'd like that, you know, Hardy and some of these other singers and songwriters, whether Nashville or not, they've been releasing their music on not Fridays, which I like. It's for me, at least in my eyes, and I wonder if it's behind their little schematic, especially like I think Hardy's last song is called "Sold Out," where basically, you know, he hasn't sold out yet, or he's not going to sell out. And it's kind of funny because like, well, but based on the music you write and stuff, like, I don't know, like okay, I guess you haven't sold out to what you think country music is. I like Hardy music. I actually really like Hardy music, especially like Boots and some of those harder like halftime songs are really dope. But that's my point. So to keep the music theme tied into this segment is just wanting. I've been wanting to do that. I've been wanting to do. You know, the music never stops, but to a point to where like I'm not gonna get docked if I play a song so that you can hear it. Because again, I know it's not mine because like I can't, for one, I can't sing like that. You know, I you know, when I have compliments saying, oh, you sing harmonies pretty good, I'm like, I can keep pitch. Like I can keep pitch with somebody. But me singing myself is like, you know, like I haven't found that voice for me yet, but background vocals, harmony, stuff like that, I love doing that. There's a lot of, I'm learning, especially coming from the Rio Grande Valley, Spanish music, Tejano music, norteño, like there's a lot of harmonies in those songs. I'm like, oh, like for me, it only makes sense that's where I got it from. As far as the liking of harmonies now, when I hear, then to add on when I hear the Eagles, Boston, I guess Kansas a little bit, but you know, some of these, and then now fast forward some more to like Rascal Flatts and those types of bands, Lady Antebellum, they're Lady A now. Harmonies is a big part of me, and I like it, and I'm learning that it's stemming from, you know, a lot of these music that I grew up in the 90s, from Michael Salgado to Intocable, Los Palominos, like Los Temerarios. There's a lot of those bands that I was raised on Spanish music, and they all had harmonies, you know, in their music, and it was very early on because for most songs that I've heard commercial wise or like country music, it's like the first verse is bare, for the most part. Like I'm gonna argue 80% of the time it's a bare first verse,